Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram,
Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram 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 Jai Jai Ram Om.
She's giving my extension box. You don't need it.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 Hari Om to everybody. Hari Om, Hari Om. Pranam, pranam, pranam.
Swamiji, I'm very sorry. No, it's not fitting here also. It's very big.
What do you want?
This is very big, Swamiji. It's not fitting anywhere.
So,
It's not fitting in
you
any
have
of
to
the
drop.
sockets. It's not fitting on any socket.
This one, layer.
No, it's not fitting.
Sure.
I checked it.
No.
Not fitting. It's bigger than any of them.
Okay, that's all.
Papa's there. No, that's a small plug. That cable stopped working. No, last time. I brought full cable. That socket is this one. Come here, go behind you. Yes. Oh, shit. No, but that's not working. It's okay, leave it. It won't come till that. The length is small. Yeah, that is not fitting. I checked that first. If the light comes to that, don't go with it. Don't go. Leave it like this.
Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Papa's sitting there. Please, it's not working. Leave it.
So yesterday, Papa gave us an opportunity to involve ourselves in a unique form of sadhana, making us to sit for 7 sessions, stretching for 45 minutes. That means nearly 5 hours, 45 minutes. And 4 sessions of walking meditation. Every participant must have made some effort to dwell on the themes Papa gave us prior to the day for yesterday, in the form of a small booklet. There are many, many things that he made us to observe. First of all, every participant, numbering nearly 130. Initially, the plan was only for 20 or 25. It started swelling up. Then it 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 10, 100. And then finally it was 130. Nearly about 70 gents and 60 ladies. Everybody reached their hall. Ladies were in Centenary Hall. Rest of them were in New Colony upstairs. 102, 103, 104. There are space between individuals, sufficient space, not crammed. And then at 6:30, 7, yes, 7, the first session started. From that time till 5 o'clock in the evening, all participants were able to remain absolutely silent, not talking to anyone, not talking in between, excepting 1 or 2. Everybody attended the whole session. So the first and foremost training we got was, all of us are now confident that if by His grace He prompts us, we can avoid talking for a number of hours. every participant must have definitely come to know that ultimately what is to be done is to go within to gradually realize the presence of the Almighty Lord of the universe, and for that we have to withdraw ourselves from all our activities on the outer level and then pool the entire energy of keeping the mind calm, keeping the mind serene, and then take the inward journey. On day for yesterday, as you all might have heard, we also shared some thoughts. Before that, Papa made us to repeat so many times that the real purpose is to become aware that He who is within us is behind our every thought, every word, every deed. Though we have heard this many a time, we did not know how to move toward that. But his one explanation at the time of immediately after the mind started turning towards God, that gave us more clarity. He says, when he was passing through this state means, when his whole entire attention was drawn inward, as Vittal Rao, in 1920, Ramdas's father by his old birth. That means, when he became more and more concentrating upon the chanting of Ram, 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 we all presume that it must have started after seeing Gandhiji at a distance. Because there he has mentioned that in a vast crowd, Vittal Rao was one among the participants, and as soon as he saw Gandhiji at a distance, some inexplicable experience he had, and he has mentioned that was the first spiritual touch. So now we are trying to put two and two together. So after having the first spiritual touch, and we all know that Gandhiji was always chanting Ram, 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 Ram. So Papa, when he says he started chanting Ram, 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 we put two and two together, that after meeting Gandhiji, this must have been kindled in his mind to take to chanting with the right perspective. Very important. Right perspective, not merely chanting. And in order to enable him to concentrate more and more, in order to ensure that the mind does not run after the creature comfort zones, God made him to deny so many things cheerfully. So he was we are having a very frugal diet, like a spiceless potato once in a day, a simple dress and a mat, and most of the time he was staying separately in his house in a room where he was chanting this. So his 5 brothers, everybody thought something is basically wrong. He is having some mental problem. So the word was sent to his father. Now from there we will begin. Ramdas's father by his old birth, who later became his guru, heard about his condition and got alarmed. Many disturbing reports reached him that Ramdas was behaving strangely and was neglecting worldly duties. They considered that it was all due to some derangement of his brain, which should be cured by medicine. Such was the impression people had of him, and that was conveyed to his father, who was then in Udupi. These are his own words. As soon as he heard this news about his son, he ran down to see him. He looked at Ramdas and understood him. Ramdas was seen repeating Ramnam always. He had lost interest in the world. The father asked, "Son, what are you doing?" Ramdas replied, "God is making me repeat Ram, 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 Ram." But this, is a very important, which probably we would not have applied our mind with all the seriousness. God made him to repeat Ram, Ram. God is making me repeat Ram, Ram. So normally we all feel, when we chant, we are chanting. So the real purpose of sadhana or spiritual journey is to become aware of his presence and to realize that behind every thought, every word, every deed, it is he and he alone who is there, who is responsible for it. Handing over the assumed ownership to the real owner. This Papa had reached. We don't know the timing, but when we started thinking, it must have been 2 or 3 months after he had this. We have been doing it for decades together now. Were we able to say that he is making us to repeat? If at all we say, do we really mean? So how to reach that stage? That he is making me repeat. As a first step, he said, he by prompting us to take to one day's inward journey, he is prompting us to think. This is the first step. I have prepared you all for that. By giving you the taste in Ramnam, by making you to enjoy chanting Ramnam, and leading a pious life. So many things you are given. So with that now, that is not sufficient. The real purpose is to know that he is behind chanting. So only through when we shut off all our activities, our outer activities, we will be able to divert the mind toward this source. So the first step is to observe Maun. And the second step could be how to control this mind and turn it inward. To recognize him in the way in which we can understand, That is why he made us to dwell on the senses first. We have got Jnanendriyas, act of seeing, act of hearing, act of tasting, act of smelling, act of touching. How is it possible? How is it that I am seeing? How is it that I am hearing? I have only said I am hearing, that's all. I have not gone beyond that. How is it possible for me to say that? We may not get any clue, but we slowly understand there must be a power, because we have also seen a dead body, many of us, where all these Panchedriyas are there, but it is not functioning. So there is one more factor that enlivens, that activates all these ideas. Then we try to come out and we concentrate on the body. Papa has given all clues. The heart beats 1 lakh times a day. 1 lakh times a day. Suddenly I look at my pulse and feel, yeah, going on. If I ask the heart to stop, will it stop? And if the heart stops, what happens? Everybody knows. So now when I know the heart works, and I am not the one who is controlling the heart, there must be a power behind it. Like that he says about blood circulation, digestion, breathing. Slowly, we are trying to understand. He is making me to repeat. So he is there in our heart. So first he talked about senses. Then he brought up the various activities of our body. And third is, of course, this breath control. We have been told that oxygen goes inside and excess of carbon dioxide goes outside without our even knowing it. That is why the life stays. We are not doing anything. So there is a power. First we start accepting. And bereft of that power, we don't exist. And that power is normally named as God, the first source. So if that power is not there, all my activities stop. Now when Papa says, God is making me repeat his name, that power is making me repeat his name. For all these, inward journey is necessary, because all of us have been going to temples, ashrams, meeting gurus right from our childhood. We have formed various concepts about God, concept about guru, concept about spirituality. But everything was outside, outside, outside. Spirit in English, it is the other word for Atman, God. So anything connected to spirit is called spirituality. Anything connected with the spiritual journey is called Godward journey. So these things will be possible for us to absorb, bring out in our own way and absorb during our Mauna session. Whose name we are chanting? To remember him. So Ram stands for this power. The power because of which we are in a position to chant. Bereft of life, all other activities, including chanting, will not take place. So when Papa said, God is making me repeat his name, he was very clear about the indwelling reality as also the all-pervading reality. That was why in such a short time, he was able to reach the goal. Initially, many of us felt, only after December 22, when he took up this and when he completed this, he was able to realize, no. Even before he left, he had attained this stage. And chanting was a process by which this experience is sustained. Otherwise it will come and go, come and go, come and go. So this one day session is the first stepping stone towards our realizing first the chanting, and later on, if chanting is made by him, all other activities are also done by him, So that is why yesterday's opportunity he provided to all, and he saw to it that everyone sticks to it. There was something I call a commitment from every participant. Many may think we have been able to sit. No, he made us to sit. Now, to sustain this moment, every now and then, suppose we try, whenever time permits, our prayer is also necessary. Yesterday, you gave us all the facility in ashram. Though we cannot say that we have fully made use of it, to a very great extent we have made use of it. The first is we were able to keep up our mauna, outer silence. A self-imposed tapas. And the points covered. Again, now we are now going through it again and again, so that uh, uh, whenever time permits, even if it is for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, we can have the same idea. Not necessarily. We will observe Maun and then add these 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. So we will just go through that points for the sake of devotees who visit ashram and take part in chanting of Ramnam and other activities during their stay feel joyous and peaceful while being involved in them. But this joy and peace do not seem to remain during the non-chanting time and in their active life in ashram and elsewhere. Here comes the relevance of the teachings of beloved Papa, which reminds us that the real purpose of chanting and taking part in ashram routine is to remember him, who is peace and bliss, so that we will be able to gradually realize everything only by his will, and he is behind all our thoughts, words and deeds. When we thus start remembering him, all that comes out of us will have a touch of peace and joy. This is also very important. Okay, we are trying to remember him, but at the same time we are functioning as an individual, as a grihastha, as a professional being, as a social being. So while dealing with so many vyavaharik matters, how does this help us? That is why he says, all that comes out of us will have a touch of peace and joy. So we are trying to understand what is peace, what is joy. This is the first litmus test, acid test he is giving to us. Peace is inherent in us. And peace is God's one of the attributes. So when we handle with men and matters, what comes out of us will have a touch of peace and bliss. We may not be able to reach straight away, but let us keep it as an ideal. Not immediately getting upset, slowly to come. Anything that all of us used to say, knowingly or unknowingly, we want peace of mind. That means God remembrance. That is what is called God remembrance. Peace of mind, a state where you feel totally full, restful, free from tensions, free from stress. Each one can start thinking now. So when we are dealing everything in a peaceful manner, we are expressing God. Guided by beloved Papa's words, we understand that the path to the peace and joy is not outside us. So far we have been thinking about it. That is why we go to temples, ashrams, we meet Mahatmas, we do bhajan, we do Ramnam, we do we do swadhyay, we attend satsang, we try to lead a moral, ethical life, but still it is evading. Because we have not we thought this peace and joy is related to the external activities, external circumstances. But clearly Papa says it is only inside. Unless we tap out and bring it, it will not be reflected in our thoughts, words and deeds. So guided by beloved Papa's words, we understand that the path to the peace and joy is not outside us. So we have to go within ourselves. Must go past our senses. Means not whatever we see, whatever we hear, whatever we touch, whatever we smell, whatever we taste. We must go past. Must traverse beyond all our ideas and ideals. These exercises will help transcend our limits, conditions, and taste. We are also reminded that this approach alone will help to have the fullest vision and realization of the inherent peace and joy in the form of witness consciousness. By subjecting us to go through a process by which thoughts are arrested, paving the way for the emergence of witness consciousness. Witness consciousness is God, witness is consciousness is peace and joy, witness consciousness is love, witness consciousness is creativity, potentiality, everything. Easy way to understand him is through witness consciousness. Papa had earlier listened, with this experience is card realization. He is suggesting a very practical method, going within and then slowly arresting all thoughts. And watching the thoughts. Elsewhere he will say, the watcher is the real you, the self-immortal. So silent and mental contemplation are of great help to such a seeker. This one-day retreat is an attempt towards the above ideal. Participants through this program make a sincere effort to realize the need for inward journey, to feel and experience to some extent the working of the senses, body, mind, prana, and how it helps us to rise above all these and to have a glimpse of the real nature, the witness consciousness. In the attitude of silence, the soul finds the path in clearer light, and what is elusive and deceptive resolves itself into crystal clearness. Doubts get cleared. Our life is a long, arduous quest for God, and the soul requires inward restfulness. This is Gandhiji's word. Because he was a great votary of Ramnam, he was observing silence strictly throughout his life, active life, every Monday, in spite of the hectic activities. That's why he has said this. In the attitude of silence, the soul finds the path in clearer light, and what is elusive and deceptive resolves itself into crystal clearness. Our life is a long, arduous quest after God, and the soul requires inward restfulness, that is called peace, to attain its full height. Silence is a part of the spiritual discipline of a votary of God. Beloved Papa says, that to make the name chanting fruitful, which is the link between the devotee and God, the chanter should feel that God is making him or her chant the name. Virat Papa says that to make the name chanting fruitful, which is the link between the devotee and God, the chanter should feel that the God is making him or her to chant. This one-day inward journey help us to experience the power that makes one chant. Since we are all used to it, habituated to chanting, so the first point is that we try to develop mental chanting now. In mental chanting, sound will not come, lip and tongue will not move, but chanting will go on. So you can practice it anywhere. Nobody will be disturbed. Nobody will come to know also. So the first lesson in the one-day Mount session we learned was mental chanting, the power of mental chanting. So whenever the mind goes astray, we can bring it back by mental chanting. The key is also within us. And then to make our mind nobly silent, perfectly still, Pilot Papa advises us, repeat mentally and make the mind repeat the name until all its waves cease. Repeat mentally, make the mind repeat the name until all its waves cease. Meaning, unless we start knowing, hearing our own mental chanting. Chanting is going on mentally, but mind still can go out. So when an effort is simultaneously made to hear the mental chanting, the outgoing tendency of the mind gets stopped. May not be for a long time, doesn't matter. Whenever it goes, again we bring it back. So repeat mentally, make the mind repeat the name until all its waves cease and it becomes perfectly still. If it does not easily become still, we have to continue the repetition of the name mentally with an attitude of self-surrender. Prayer also goes, I am unable to, please. You have given me the strong prompting to mentally chant and to stop all outgoing tendencies, but still I fail. Please help me. This will gradually lead us to develop consciousness. On this, we try to ponder over during this period. Then, next point. Desire is the longing to enjoy pleasures and senses. We have 5 senses. We want to see beautiful things. We want to hear sweet voices. We want to smell fragrant things. We want to taste sweet food or drink. We want to touch smooth things. These are called desires to enjoy the pleasures of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting and touching. They keep our mind distracted. Think about the power behind the senses. First we said, in a dead body, all these are there, but they are not. What is it that makes my eye see? What is it that makes my ears hear? What is it that makes my nose to smell, tongue to taste, skin to touch? Try, Then we come to the body. Our heart beats about 1 lakh times a day, about 35 million times a year. Can you imagine? 1 lakh times a day. It pumps 6 liters of blood through 1,20,000 kilometers of blood vessels in a day. Have the dead body also in your mind. As soon as the life parts from the dead body, our next anxiety is how soon we can cremate, That body was revered, worshipped. So many things would have taken place. But suppose that is kept for 1-2 days, finished. So in 1 second, we are producing 1.2 million of red blood cells. 10 lakhs, 1 million means 10 lakhs. So 12 lakhs of red blood cells in a second, in 1 second. An equal number that die. Our digestive and metabolic system has the remarkable ability to transform the food we eat into blood, bone, body structure. Like a factory, when the moment the food is taken, we are not aware of any. The air which we breathe but cannot see contains oxygen which is exchanged for the excess of carbon dioxide and then thrown out without us even knowing about it. The wisdom necessary to fertilize an egg, ourselves. Egg means ourselves.
They're not able to hear corridor up to their people that can be connected.
Karma. Oh, we never thought that so many people will come.
So they're not able to hear, they're requesting. So can I connect please?
No, but
1 minute.
and they can do.
It will come.
Oh.
Setting. Bluetooth. What is this? What is this called?
Bose.
BO?
Vivo.
No.
Connected from the laptop then.
Bose.
You connect it from your laptop then. Otherwise,
Add
it's
device,
double
okay.
sound.
No, we pay for connection.
Bluetooth.
From this it has to come from it will come there.
Connected to your laptop. Yeah, connected to your laptop.
Anji.
On your laptop.
Anji. But it must have been there because we used to do it for.
No, it has to be connected with your laptop from there. It has to be connected with your laptop there.
No, it was here only. We connected this.
We used to do.
We used to do mantra initiation.
But when you are speaking and that double.
For a long time, we are not using it.
It will show some. Bluetooth. Devices. Add device.
That's it. You don't have to add, it was there previously. You are searching for that.
It will not show it.
OnePlus word. OnePlus not?
No.
Bose.
Bose.
Vivo. Vivo.
It is not Bose. Which I know.
Vivo. Yes.
No, something else. When you switch on, it should come,
Automatically it will show.
And are you 100%? The laptop can be kept for them, right?
We used to do.
You switch on.
It's on now. You can see the light from there.
This is on.
No, it's on. No, it's on. It's
Wait.
Now it has come. AN.
Added device is not required. Go to view devices, Bluetooth devices, show devices.
It is telling it has come.
Here it is.
Bose.
It's connected.
Now it will come.
It's connected.
Swamiji speak now.
Hari Om.
The phone works. She has to connect on her laptop.
Not necessary. It was independent.
No, the thing is, Swamiji, you are talking. It is going into this.
Because
it's
of the.
using mic. So this she needs output, not input.
Okay. So two things. One is 1 lakh times. What happens? The heart beats 1 lakh times, and the blood circulates 1,20,000 times, kilometers in a day. And then in 1 second, we are producing 12 lakhs of red blood cells to replace an equal number that die in 1 second. In 1 second, like that. Our digestive and metabolic system have the remarkable ability to transform the food we eat to transform the food we eat into blood, bone, and body structure. All these things we are trying to understand, watching our body, these things are happening. So there must be a power within it. We have to understand that power. It is for that purpose all these things have been given to us. I can verify my pulse. 1 minute, 70 to 75 it goes, And if I ask them to stand, it stop, it cannot stop. Nothing, these four are not in my realm, in my domain. And at the same time, if it is not there, I am not alive, which is what is called life force. And later on, Papa said, life is the expression of Atman. So if the life is not there, chanting will not take place. So that is why Papa said God is making him chant the name. So that is one another. So first one was senses, second one was body. Third one, pranayama consists in inhaling, retaining, exhaling breath. It is essentially a practice of breath control so that we can have harmonious breathing. Breathing has an important bearing upon the state of our mind. When the breathing is harmonized and regularized, our mind becomes calm. That is why breathing exercise is resorted to. In yoga, this is very important, pranayama. Not merely asanas. Asana, pranayama, pratyahara, like that goes on, no? So pranayama is very important. At the moment, we are not even conscious that we are breathing. It goes on automatically, So we become now conscious and then try to understand the power behind this. And then observing the rising, passing of thoughts and the power behind it. So senses level, body level, breathing level, we have now slowly trying to assert there is a power, there is a power, there is a power, that is why I exist. That is why I feel I am existing. That is why this notion of I exist. Slowly, during the inward journey. And now we come to the mind. To watch the mind. Because by the earlier process, we have trained. We have trained to we have trained our watching the senses, watching the bodily functions, watching the breathing slowly enables us to detach it from ourselves. So then again, we start watching our thoughts. So here Papa says, many rules have to be observed for control of mind. Observance of silence is one of them. Who is observing silence? Let us try to find out. Sit silent detach yourself from the mind and watch its activities. Don't bother about the label we have given, just watch. So when this takes place, Papa announces, the watcher is the real you, the self-immortal Sakshi Bhava. Watcher. So these are all some of the points. There could be many points, many methods. But what he prompted us before we undertook this one day, these four, you can add anything, we can replace anything. No, I am unable to do this, I am unable to do that. So I will again plumb deep and find out. These four, the concentration on these four, that is senses, body, breathing, and thoughts. Even if I start doing it successful for a minute or two, and again it goes, we know now the technique. As to how the devotee can become aware of the Lord's presence. The sense of individuality is the devotee, and Lord is the motivating, pulsating, activating power. So the sense of individuality is trying to understand the power because of which it exists. And a stage comes when Papa declares this, the watcher is the real you, the self-immortal, the Atman. Amritasya putra, immortal. So yesterday he gave us a wonderful opportunity to make a beginning. And we find that to keep this whole movement alive in our mind, we remember that Papa's word, God is making me repeat his name. It's in a capsule form. Now we are all praying, how am I to feel that he is making me to say these words? No? How am I to feel your presence? When as a habit, when we are involved in Nama chanting, how do we recognize that it is he who is making us to chant? Something will evolve, no? How it will evolve, where it will evolve, it depends upon the person, the person's intensity, beyond which outer guidance cannot help us. Because when we set ourselves on a process, that process opens up at every stage. This is what we have learned, in all our activity. Not that everything strikes to us immediately. A concept gets formed. Then you find mysteriously so many contributory factors make the concept reality. At the time of making the concept, all these were not clear. But proportionate to the intensity we have on that concept, mysteriously we know things get opened up. Similarly, here also, when we try, when our intention is very clear, that I know that the power is there, but I don't realize the power. Common sense tells me, yes, my heart beats. I can feel that common sense says that there should be a power behind the heartbeat. Normally we call it as prana or life force. Now when we are told by our spiritual preceptor that life is the expression of Atman. Though seemingly two, they are one. These are his words. In many places we have seen this, like even Srimad Bhagavad Gita also, Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu. I am there in the form of life force. Intellectually, we have equipped ourselves with all these many a time we have heard. But now we are trying to understand it experientially. So the first stage is observing mind. And then second stage is to dwell on any of these aspects. So this is what he did, provided yesterday. So now our prayer is, every day kindly, every time we cannot sit like this. We are in the midst of so many activities which you have given. So every day, kindly enable us to spend some time. If they are working people, they may get 10 minutes, 15 minutes at best. If retired people, they can do for an hour or two. They try to close their eyes, slowly watching one by one. And where does it lead? What more is needed? Everything will get opened up slowly. But let it become a daily affair. And later on we will find that we are not limiting to that particular time. Because even during the other times also, we are all active. Where from this power to become active comes? That is why suddenly we realize at no time he is away from us. He is with us. He has been with us. More of it day after tomorrow. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram. Even now we should try. Even now we should try, where from it comes. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai. Pranam, Pranam, Pranam. Hari Om, Hari Om. Pranam. Namaskaram, Namaskaram, Namaskaram.
Namaskaram, Swamiji.
Namaskaram, Namaskaram. Hari Om.
Namaskaram, Swamiji.
Namaskaram, Namaskaram, Namaskaram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Okay. Pranam, Pranam, Pranam. Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram.